Use the gear we're running. Main goal is just gonna be doing as much damage as we can. That's gonna be the main focus of this specific like healing out loud. So we're gonna start right away. Flame Shock, Kyrian Totem. Can even drop our Earth Ellie here, because if we use it here on this trash early enough, we should have it back up for the boss. And I don't have my Earth Ellie targeted, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Oh, I should have moved my totem right before then, so that's already the first mistake we made. But keeping the Earth Ellie alive is probably like our #1 priority. I'm literally going to drop Healing Tide to help keep it alive, drop a Cloudburst. All these things will feed into helping keep the Earth Ellie alive. More Riptides on it. Another Riptide. Looks like we're skipping past some of this stuff, so hopefully my Earth Ellie doesn't pull. I'm going to see what happens. There we go. Went right by. That's good. Put down another Kyrian Totem. Too much about healing, but I have it focused this time, so it'll be a lot easier. Refresh Flame Shock when we can. Burst on CD, and then using the rest of our Kyrian Totem for the healing benefit. Or using, you know, getting healing spells used so that it to the totem. Looks like we're just going maybe right into boss after this, or maybe doing Zolga mix. We may not end up having our Earth Ellie back up in time. If we do Zolga mix first, then we'll have the Earth Ellie come up like halfway through the boss fight, which is fine too. Below this shade, it's in a really awkward position, so we're kind of look around that sleep puddle. We're resetting boss. And then we're going to go do Zolgamex. Just Labor 2 if we can. I can't seem to hit it. There we go. I have to keep the Warlock alive for a second because he got hit by one of the Zolgamex dots. Gonna Spirit Link early because we're kind of in a rough spot. And then we'll usually dispel the tank at 3 stacks, but because Zolgamex started using the Blood Siphon, we can just use it early. And here we'll wait till 3 stacks, so we'll refresh Flame Shock, get another Lava Burst out, and then we'll dispel. Refresh our Hots. Refresh our other Flame Shock. During Blood Siphon, I'm not too concerned about healing. I'm mostly trying to break the shield as soon as possible. A lot of our passive healing should do the trick with like Riptides being out, and if we have like a Kyrian Totem down, for instance. I'm going to save this next Kyrian Totem for when we do the boss, because this is going to die by the time I put it down. X this bat. And same thing with Flame Shock, we'll save that for the start. Oh, nope. Thought we would beat that Blood Siphon, so I'm just going to Flame Shock. Go. And the main strat here for this boss is actually to hard focus Rocketspark until you get him to, I believe it's 20%. And at 20%, he stops doing the aerial barrage where he jumps on the boxes and you have to like knock him down and stuff. The big healing phase right here. So once you get him to like 30 or 20%, I don't know the exact number, but once you get him there, he stops doing this entirely. So the main goal should just be literally getting him to that percent as soon as possible. And then you just switch all your damage into Borka. It makes the fight very easy because then Rocketspark isn't really doing anything. He's just jumping around the room and doing very small, mostly avoidable damage. Just Healing Tide here so we don't have to worry about healing too much. We're going to be putting Flame Shock on Rocketspark. I'm going to wait till he jumps one more time to use my Kyrian Totem. And we'll wait till he gets knocked down, then he'll take additional damage. We'll put the Kyrian Totem down a little bit early and get it ready. Now we'll kind of just wait. We'll wait. All Health Pot and Healthstone. Lusting. Lusted sooner. It's my fault. Now we just try to proc both sides of the Kyrian Totem before he jumps away. Refresh Flame Shock. Go back on Rocketspark. We're really just utilizing Riptides and Cloudburst Totems to keep people up. Making sure I press Riptide every time that Borka's doing a slam. Go hit Borka for a moment. Spirit Link to pick everybody up. You can see I'm not really relying too heavily on like spam healing anyone unless they significantly drop low and like during this phase. But otherwise, we're really trying to just utilize like as much passive healing as we possibly can so that we can instead focus our actual, you know, casting spells into doing damage. And that's what allows us to get like reach such good DPS numbers even without a resonant reservoir. We use our trinket, and then see now Rocketspark shouldn't do the phase anymore. It should just be him jumping back and forth and doing this. That's not good. Evasion. Oh, yes, cheat death. There's the evasion. Looks like we recover. We need to finish Rocketspark though. I don't know why my Earth Ellie's staying on him. And there we go. And here we should be running all the way to the top. These are super delayed, so it's very awkward. And Prop Paladin is exceptionally bad at this part of the dungeon, dealing with these bleeds, so... See how we do. I'm just gonna pop my defensive, because I think I get hit by that. Do. Get Rogue back up. Flame Shock, Kyrian Totem. Rogue got hit again. Flame Shock again. Healing spells in between to proc the Vesper. We're just bouncing Flame Shock back and forth between them to keep it up. And then now I can heal up the tank a little bit. It does have Last Stand, so we should be fine. Or whatever that's called. Ardent Defender. Gives him a cheat death. And then we just run into the next area and the rogue can just release. Teleported. Here we go. Go into this next bowl. Use my trinket. Flame Shock. Get Lava Bursts both on cooldown. Get a Cloud Burst down to do passive healing. And Healing Rain is actually really good in this part of the dungeon. During your, like, while you're in the train cars, because everyone's usually pretty grouped up. It's really good for passive healing on the Cloudburst totem. And then here we're just tab targeting and using Flame Shock on cooldown to get it on a new target every time. And then otherwise just keeping Lava Burst on cooldown and pressing Chain Lightning. And again, just 90% of my healing is just passive healing that I can apply. And then here we'll like stun the Spiteful. He got knocked back really weird. Can't tell what's going on half the time in these cars. Thing, drop the Kyrian Totem right away. Flame Shock. Oh no, okay, I almost Flame Shocked the thing that turns into an Infiltrator. That would have been bad. Use Healing Tide Totem as well. Reapply Flame Shock to something else. Lava Burst on CD. Get Riptides on CD. I would like to save Spirit Link for the harder pull after this. Okay, there we go. Tank reset with Bubble. Because the next two pulls are like probably the hardest pulls in the dungeon, so I'd like to use those for... I like to use Spirit Link for one of those, because that's where the tank's necrotic stacks are probably going to get out of control. Help kill these spites. Same thing here. We'll target that Sinisters in a different pack, so we'll just target this infantry. Totem. Use Cloudburst. Get 2 Riptides on CD to proc the Cloudburst, or to proc the Vesper. And that's where I would probably use Spirit Link, but he died very quickly. That was pretty unexpected. That's okay. Keeps the rest of the group alive. For now. Stun. I don't know what's stunnable in here, but it's like everything. Slow. Kill our Spiteful. Kill the other Spiteful. Next back, we have Kyrian Totem up again. Things get out of hand because we accidentally pulled both packs. Gonna Earth Ellie here. I don't know how worth it is gonna be to Earth Ellie. It's probably gonna die instantly. But it might help a little bit. I got an Ascendance to heal my Earth Ellie, keeping it alive as long as possible. The Earth Ellie will literally do more damage than I can. So spam healing it like this is totally worth it because it's doing more damage than if I were to sit here spamming every ability for DPS. And there it dies. It dies very, very early, but that's okay. It still did most of what we wanted it to, making this pull as recoverable as we can possibly make it. I have no clue what's going on right now, so I'm just running. Gonna drop my Kyrian Totem. Gonna heal. Hit the frontal. Yeah, that's unlucky. Can't do too much about that double pull. That's really rough. I think we're keeping it in combat. Looks like it. I'll just tag this Hulk since it's low HP. At least keep this in combat, even if everything else resets. That's okay. As long as we kill this and we killed a couple other things, then it's pretty worth. Alright, what a show. And that's honestly, dealing with Necrotic, the best way of dealing with this affix is killing things fast. Like, as a healer, I feel like it's much more important to be able to do high amounts of damage. Oh, we actually killed both packs, none of them reset, nice. Being able to kill stuff fast is going to make Necrotic less of a problem for your tank. So worry less about healing and more about how do you min-max your damage before the Necrotic gets out of control. While it is an option, in a lot of dungeons, especially in ones like these, kiting is very bad because, like, especially with the way a lot of DPS classes work right now, like Destruction Warlock and stuff, you just lose so much damage if the tank is kiting away. So it's much better to try to find ways to just keep the tank planted and then just deal with the mobs as quickly as you can, rather than worrying about having to deal with those high necrotic stacks in the first place. And then you just use other things to help reset rather than having to run away. So instead of kiting, you know, you use Kyrian File if you're playing a Kyrian tank, or if you're playing Resto Shaman, you can use Spirit Link to help them stay in. Like, once they reach like 30 stacks, you can drop Spirit Link if the pull's still happening. And then that gives them, you know, it kind of gives the tank a signal in most cases where they're like, oh, okay, I can just stand in this Spirit Link, even though I have a bunch of stacks, because their health will still transfer. Here we're just going to Flame Shock the boss, do a little bit of damage to him. And with 3 of the boomer shots, the Blackrock Mortar Shells, you still need to do like 2% of his health and damage before he actually falls out. So doing a little bit of damage to him here at the start just to help with that. And we'll reapply a Flame Shock or 2 to him as well. To the fight. It's very awkward to use cooldowns here because stuff dies so fast, but we're just dropping Kyrian Totem on the most amount of mobs that we can. Just procking it. I'll use Cloudburst to do some passive healing. Keep throwing out Riptide. And use a Healing Tide if I still have aggro. We're just waiting for those last 2 boomers that spawn, usually right here. And we use our trinket on one of them. Flame Shock it. Cloudburst. Flame Shock the other one in a moment. And I will grab one of these. Jump in this camp. Hit the boss with it.
I've got my sights on you.
Spirit Link just to top us all up. Kyrian Totem. Cloud Burst for some passive healing. Gotta be careful when the tank gets in the cannon like that to use the rest of his ammo if he has any ammo that he picked up, because the tank will take a lot of extra damage. I don't think they can block or parry or anything when they're inside of a vehicle, so that's why you'll notice they just kind of randomly start taking a bunch of damage if they jump in the cannon. And we have Earth Ellie for this next pull. Our main goal for this next pull is we are the only people who can purge successfully, so we want to be purging the storm shields. The storm shields are highest priority. They must be purged like instantly, ideally, because they will do a ton of damage to people. So we're just going to watch the Farseers, which they'll be marked, and if the storm shield successfully cast, we just be ready to purge immediately. Hit by that fire, so I'm going to press my defensive, because it likes to bleed over into the middle for some reason. Like Rogue got hit by it too. Oh no, it's actually the storm field on the ground. Under zone, that's what it's called. Help kill the shade. Okay, we are pulling all of it. So my goal is the storm shields. I'm gonna focus one of the... Is there only one Farseer in here? Yeah, because one of them turns into a inspired guy, or what's it called, a infiltrator. So we just need to watch Star. We'll interrupt that one since it's up. Pop our Earth Ellie. Get this loader pulled in as well, so we don't have to wait for him to die. Carrion Totem, get some healing out. Ellie died very early again, but that's okay. Not much we can do. Necrotic Week is rough for the Earth Elemental Legendary, I feel like. Earth Ellie is way more susceptible to dying on Necrotic. Just gets a few stacks and it just makes it really hard to keep him alive because the dot ticks for quite a bit as well. Alright, and then we lost the boss, we get easy 2 chest. For I think our first ever Grimrail. Yeah, I haven't even done a tyrannical Grimrail on my Shaman yet.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Where that's aimed, so we're just gonna hope it's not at us. Could be a safe bet to just move always. You know, I think if I am not mistaken, the way that the spinning spear works is it always targets whoever is closest to the boss at the time of it casting. Which I'm like 95% sure that's how it works. It always goes on whoever's closest. Means healing tide here, so I don't have to do as much healing. Usually you're forced to move during it, and that's why it's hard to tell that it does that. Because you're usually dodging this breath and then the spinning spear is happening. So the tank has to try to like kind of stay next to the boss that whole time. Oh no.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, we're like actually wiping him. Feels unfortunate. Can I like get around? No. I thought I could like jump off and then goblin jump over this way. That'd be fun.
3, 2, 1.
Unlucky. No 2 chests, but that's okay. So of Omega time. Grimrail is definitely pretty freaky. I think the 27 we timed, we literally had like 13 deaths or something, or you know, somewhere around like 10 deaths, and we still almost 2 chested it. So it's definitely a very not time sensitive key. It's just about not wiping to the first and second boss, or first and last boss. Don't have time to run that, I don't think, so. Gonna spawn like right on the rogue. Ooh. And we had a mega time to run that. Go ahead and res here. Go ahead and get food buff. Might pull before I get a chance to get food buff. Nope, we get food buff.
Raccoon, let's give 'em hell.
Hearing Totem and Trinket right at the start. Rock our healing with 2 Riptides and a Cloudburst.
3, 2, 1.
Healing Rain definitely isn't worth it with only 2 in melee, but that's okay.
5, 4, 3, 2.
I do want to bait these traps in more ideal spots, so I'm going to stand here at the edge. There it is, and then we just move up a little bit.
5,
Now I'll bait the next one like right here, unless the breath happens.
1.
Spirit Link in melee.
Five, 4, 3, 2.
Oh, that was interesting. Couldn't pop that for no reason. I think I might die here.
How shocking.
Yeah, that was very odd. Bonk.
5, 4,
The rogue ran so far to run into that. I don't know why.
1.
I think he... I don't know. Maybe he just didn't notice it.
How
Oh,
shocking.
yeah. Baiting these very awkwardly. That's another wipe. Okay, we still have time.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Five,
You can never
4,
stop this
3, 2, 1.
Alright, try again. Just letting them know the way that I'm like almost positive the way that the baiting the spear works. It's because they're moving out of the way for... Can we make it pat? No, I don't trust. Feels so slow.
Raccoon.
Alright, here we go. Get my food buff real quick. Work the trap.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Go around the trap. I'm tempted to just go play in melee to help with the spears or just be able to see them easier. But it's impossible to see them all the way out here.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This. Bait the next trap behind this one. Nope. It's in melee.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's going all the way towards me. I think it's because they dodged around the boss that way. I could be wrong though, maybe I'm wrong, but every time I've tested it, it seems pretty accurate that it will always bait on me if I stay in melee. Like I've stood in all the stuff on the floor as a tank just to test it, and it like consistently always went on me. See, it seems to be going on the melee when they walk like around the boss to get away from the breaths. And they just happen to be walking in front of the boss rather than around. They should be walking around this way towards like the back side of the room. They're trying to dodge stuff. Ascendance here. Tyrian Totem again, because if we wipe here, we don't time the key, so. To actually kill it this time, we Trinket. And I'll SLT that just in case. Oh, I did not see the trap there. That's not good. Oh man, we have no B-res either. That's really bad on my part. I kept going side to side to dodge, and I didn't think about moving up more. That was supposed to be the original plan, was to move up in order to start dodging. That's gonna suck, because I don't think they live. Because those breaths are just gonna slowly kind of eat at them.
5, 4.
I don't have much to go, but these breaths are gonna start hurting. Ooh, and they're running out of room. Yeah, it's gonna be rough with those dots. There's Cloak. We still got Mortal Coils. Hopefully they use those.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Luckily they're Warlocks, so they are picking themselves back up pretty quick. It's just these dots, that's what's gonna be difficult. There's Dark Pact. Okay, they got it. Yep, we got this.
5,
Have faith.
4, 3.
They still got Mortal Coils. They don't even need them. The Prop Paladin just hard carries, man. Sweet. Cool, 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 cool. And we get the shortcut to the box. Ooh, we got the shield. This is actually better than what I have on. Alright, and that is Grimrail Depot.